What's up, boys? It's the Dual Factor once again, and in today's video I have a regional report for you. This weekend I went to the St. Louis Regionals, and this deck profile would have been up sooner. However, I was really tired that Sunday night, so I figured I'd go ahead and just record the video a day afterwards. And I was playing Thunder Dragon at this event. This is the first event that I actually got to play the pure Thunder Dragon deck. And I actually put a lot of testing. It showed really well at this event. I started 5-1. And then my first loss I took round 5. The guy I played ended up topping the event. He was actually he was a really good player. I was really excited to play him and stuff like that, so that was really cool. And then I took my second loss round 7, and since it's really hard to top 8 with 2 losses at that point, I just went ahead and dropped. He was also a really good player, but I don't know if he topped the event or not, but I hope he did. Both those guys were really cool, and I had no problem losing to them. I actually really liked my build. I thought it was the most consistent build in the room. For most of the event, through the first 7 rounds, I was the only Thunder Dragon player at between table 1 and 8, so that was really cool. There was a Thunder Dragon player who ended up winning the event. He was over at table 12, and his build was different from mine, but he was playing a combo that I just didn't see after all the testing I did. That's just goes to show you, no matter how much testing you do, you learn something new with the deck almost every event you go to and every game you play. But enough about that. I'm going to go ahead and show you what I played. So to start off, you play 3 copies of Original Thunder Dragon. So I'll kind of go over the cards for some people that don't know. But for Original Thunder Dragon, all he does is you can discard him and you can add up to 1 or 2 copies of him from the deck to the hand. It's actually really important, especially for like your Titan plays, because if you can hard something in Titan and have Thunder Dragon Fusion hand, that's 4 free pops in 1 turn, so keep that in mind. We play 3 copies of Thunder Dragon Roar. His banished effect is whenever he's banished or sent from field to graveyard, he can special summon 1 out of the deck. Card's really important. It's the only thing you really want to Ash in this deck, other than if you're in a simplified game state, then you might want to Ash Dark, but this is usually the Ash bait, I'd like to say. 3 copies of Dark. His effect when he's banished or leaves the field, goes from the field to the graveyard, is he can add any Thunder Dragon card from your deck to your hand, and that includes the spells. His quick effect, not his quick effect, but his in-hand effect, and it's a quick effect, is you can discard him to add a copy of himself from deck to hand, and that's really important to know, especially when you want to set up interactions with Titan. Then we also play 3 copies of Thunder Dragon Hawk. Whenever you discard this one, it can special summon a Thunder Dragon from the banished pile or the graveyard, which is actually really important for recycling your Thunder Dragons, putting them in the graveyard, so you have more cards to banish for Colossus and Titan to keep them on the field from destruction effects. And his banished effect, or whenever he leaves the field, is you can send cards from your hand back to the deck, and then draw the same number of cards you sent back. And that effect actually does come up when you're trying to turn your Brilliant Fusion back on and whatnot. We only play 2 copies of Thunder Dragon Matrix. You really don't want 3 copies of this card. You don't really want to draw it, but you want to be able to search it at will. And it's also a quick effect, so it's another way to interact with your opponent on their turn with Titan. But once you have access to the first one, which is really easy to get access to the first one, you don't really want to see any other copies. You just literally want to search it when you want it. But it's important enough to where you should play 2. And that's it for the actual Thunder Dragon monsters themselves. On to the rest of the cards. Note, we don't play Battery Man Solar in this deck. That card, in my opinion, that card literally does nothing for the strategy. If you're up against a Thunder Dragon player and you see him summon Solar, just let it resolve, because it's literally going to do nothing. That's just my thoughts on it. So instead, for the normal summon, other than Solar, we're playing 3 copies of Denko. This card's insane. So, one of your harder matchups is Altergeist, which I didn't play any Altergeist, so that was actually like a blessing for myself. But one of your harder matches is Altergeist. Going into a Sky Striker board, going second is actually kind of hard because you have to play through multiple Widow Anchors and stuff like that. So, being able to have a normal summon that just locks their back row, and it's also a Thunder monster too, so you can use it the combo going first. It does everything the deck wants to, and I think this card's infinitely more impactful than Battery Man Solar is, so that's how we're playing it. Kind of for the spice, I'm playing 2 copies of the Ascended of the Thunder. So what this card is, no, it's also a short print out of Code of the Duelist, and it's the hardest freaking common to find. But all it is, it's a level 7, 2700 attack, 2400 defense, and it reads, you can pay 3000 life points and special summon this card out of your hand. If it's destroyed by battle with your opponent or by card effect, you gain 5000 life. That effect literally never comes up. The big thing about this is just the free Thunder monster you can drop on the field. And the reason that's it's so important is either, one, what a lot of situations that day happened, is it completes your combo for 3 fusion monsters on the field, or it allows you to play through a hand trap so you can at least establish multiple Colossus turn 1. And that's really important. You do have to kind of pay attention with this card, though, because you can't really just be dropping 3000 life points when you're really close to time, so there's that kind of confliction. But it gives the deck what it lacks, and that's an extender, more or less. I like it. I'm going to continue to play it, continue to test it a little bit further, but we'll see what happens. I am playing Brilliant Fusion, so we're playing 1 copy of Amber. You could make the argument to play 2 because you really, really want Brilliant Fusion to resolve, and you don't want to have to waste your Hawk effect to put it back into the deck. But at the same time, your deck, it reminds me of Monarchs, where I feel 1 out of every 3 games you're going to break, which is the same as Monarch. But you have to play cards like this to give yourself the most consistent chance of opening a playable hand. So, there's that. And then for the monster hand traps, we just played 3 copies of Ash. It's the most universal hand trap. You have to, like, it being the most universal hand trap, I feel like it's like a double-edged sword, because it could also be the worst hand trap, because especially if, like, decks like Sky Striker have multiple ways to get Widow Anchor, it's not very good. But in, like, simplified game states, it's really, really, really good. And then it's really good against all rogue decks. So, like, out of all the generic hand traps you can play, I feel like this is one you need to be playing. You can also play another Magical Midfield Breaker, which I didn't see any of that, and I didn't see a whole lot of Dark Warrior or Dark Goku, or, like, the Rongo deck, or whatever you want to call it. Actually, they're the only 2 people I knew who were playing it in the room, Aldo and Blessing. They're the only 2 people that were playing it that I know of, but yeah, I definitely still think this is the best hand trap main deck right now. On to the spells. 3 Brilliant Fusion. Anytime you open this card and resolve it, you're probably winning the match. Not match, but the game, like, straight up. Also, this and a regular Thunder Dragon in hand let you combo, so that's really important to know. 3 copies of Instant Fusion. This card's good going first or second. Going first, you can summon Kaminari attack, combo. Going second, into Problem Monsters, you can summon Thousands Irish Trick and still combo. So, definite 3 of. We're playing 3 copies of Thunder Dragon Fusion. A lot of people keep telling me and, like, making the argument that you should play 2. They also make the argument that you can also add this card back through Thunder Dragon Roar. I am aware you can add it back through Thunder Dragon Roar, and I'm aware that it clogs and stuff like that, but I feel like the card's so powerful that you want to actually, you just want to draw it. Like, you really do. Like, especially, like, when your opponent has, like, hand traps for, like, your Hawk and stuff like that. Like, when you just straight draw this card, like, it's just it's really good. And then being able to banish it to search any Thunder monster like Denko and then add it back with Thunder Dragon Roar. Like, the card's insane. Like, I definitely feel like you should play 3. It will clog at times, being in your hand with multiple copies going first and stuff like that. But, I mean, you just want to see it. Like, that's all I can say. Gold Sark, just another extender. And a way to... Extender and starter, honestly. And then for this slot, we play 2 copies of Lord of Darkness. There wasn't really any other better card to play. Although there was twice yesterday that I had this in hand and no light monsters. And it could have been Pot of Desires. Like I said, I had all light monsters in hand, so I had no dark, so it couldn't have been a Chaos monster. It's just... Like I said, I couldn't think of anything else to play. Going forward, I'm probably going to cut this card, and I'd rather honestly just play Pot of Desires, because this is a guaranteed +1. Like, it's really, really good with Dark and Roar. Like, don't get me wrong, it's just... I'd probably just rather have that added consistency to have a guaranteed +1 versus explosiveness, but I don't know. That's an age-old argument. And then the only trap card I played in the deck was 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence. It's really good in the mirror match, but I didn't play any mirrors. And just, I feel like it's the also the second most generic hand trap, and you should play it because it's also not once per turn. A lot of people don't remember that, but that is the main deck. That's 40. Then on to the extra. So I had a sweet Broly map that I was playing on, so you know I had the Broly Field Center. For the extra deck monsters, we play 3 copy of Colossus. No explanation there. I'm playing 3 Titan. The guy who took first was only playing 2 Titan. He was also playing Brilliant Fusion, which I think is insane. Like, you easily, especially in the Brilliant Fusion builds, you go through 3 Titan because you're just using this to link off with your monsters all the time. And you need to have the 3rd Titan to your deck because it comes up all the time, so you can activate Thunder Dragon Fusion and put multiple monsters back and summon the 3rd Titan out of your extra deck. So I feel like that should be an automatic 3 of. But shout out to that guy. He, like I said, he won, I didn't. But I think if you're playing Brilliant Fusion, you should 100% be playing 3 Titan. On to the other fusions. Prismora for Brilliant Fusion, Kaminari Attack for Instant Fusion, and Thousand's Eye Restrict for Instant Fusion. Like I said, this helps you going second. This lets you combo. This also lets you combo. Another argument to make playing 2 Ambers. This card gets effect. You can discard a Gem Knight card and pop a card on the field. That adds Inspector Border, so that's a good thing to know. I guess you could say saucy tag for the extra deck was Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon Gustav Max. So there's a lot of times that you'd be playing your opponent, and if you have, say for example, you're going through a board and you have Denko in hand, you can put 2 Titans on board, because this is the only time I do it. But I did it to 3 people, so I feel kind of salty for it. Like, I would be salty if I was these people. But what would happen in simplified game states, I would establish a Titan in the main monster zone, and then the Kaminari attack not Kaminari attack, but some summoner I had on the field, I would turn that into a Colossus. Normal summon Denko first, so they can't do their back row. But anyway, your board looks like Denko, Colossus, in the extra monster zone, and Titan, and you would push for damage at that point, and then usually at that point they're under 2k, so you can turn the Colossus into a second Titan in the extra monster zone, and then overlay the 2 into Gustav Max while Denko's is still on the field. So that way the only out they have is Effective Ailer in their hand, and that's literally the only way they can stop that from resolving. So I'm definitely keeping this extra deck. It's relevant. It comes up. It won me 3 games. 100% gonna play it. The only link I made other than Link Karibo, which was some summoner, like you want to, like it comes up having to, if they clear or the first time you need to have the second one. Like it really does come up. 1 Link Karibo, only other card I made. 1 Land Furnicus. This was Phoenix, but I thought you needed a generic Link too. Looking back at it, this is going to get cut for number 38, so I can play that combo. And then 1 Nightmare Unicorn. And that's it for the extra deck. And then since this is a regional report, I'll go ahead and show you my side and what I was working with. For starters, we play 3 copies of Lancia. This served purpose for the number 86 Rongo Mini Ad deck. I believe that's the correct name. Pronounce his name. This also serves for the mirror match. Especially when like you would side this going first. I would side it going first. So I can do my combo, and then when it turns around their turn, especially like, because if you find yourself in a situation where they, you can also side this going second too, because it stops evenly matched, keep that in mind. But, if they instant fusion going for Kaminari attack first, you can Lancia them there, and that usually ends their turn, because usually when they're instant fusioning first, they don't have another way to start their combo off. And then if you Lancia them there, they're just stuck with a Kaminari attack in the extra monster zone, because it's not an effect monster, so they can't turn it into Colossus. So they have to have they have to have it followed up by a normal summon, or they can't play. So keep that in mind. This card's insane. Going on the theme of hand traps are good against the Warrior deck, I also play Ghost Ogre. This card's insane against them if they don't have Midfield Breaker. So there's that. 3 copies of Mind Control for going second. This was for the mirror match, but like I said, I didn't play any mirror matches. And then your worst matchup is Altergeist, so we play 3 copies of Twin Twister, and 3 copies of Reboot, because the trap cards are never resolving, and you can keep that Multi-Faker in your hand. But on to my rounds, I played against 3 Sky Strikers. That's my best matchup, and I unfortunately lost to 2 of them, but like I said, the 2 that I lost to, I know 1 topped the event. I don't know if the other one did or not. I'll have to go back and look at the list. I played against a True Draco, which Red Reboot and Twin Twister handled that matchup. That guy was really cool, though. I played against the Prank Kids guy, which that guy, I thought he was going to sauce the shit out of me, but then I ended up saucing him, so there's that. I played against the Robbie Cole 4-engine deck, where the guy came up to me, and he literally told me that it didn't matter about the dice roll, yada yada yada. Told me he was going to 2-0 me, turns around, he gets beaten 3, so that was fun. And then, let's see, 3 Striker, Prank Kids, 40 card Recipe, and True Drake. I think it's my 7 rounds, yeah. But let me know what you guys think. I'm probably going to continue playing this deck at the competitive level. I really like it. It reminds me a lot of Monarch, which I actually really liked playing Monarch, and I thought it was really good, especially in the mirror match with it. But I decided to play it over BAPK over that, and I kind of regret that, because like you can make the argument for consistency over power, but I'd rather have the more powerful deck, the more consistent deck, I guess, at this point. But always remember to like, comment, subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next video. Peace.